So the first thing I was gonna ask you about, bro, I don't know if you were affiliated or did you know the brother Gonzo? Rest in peace, Gonzo.
All these niggas trying to fuck. Niggas trying to fuck his life. As far as Gonzo, really, I've never met. Well, I take that back. I met Gonzo one time in person. I met him in Washington. Actually, it was about a year ago. I was going to do another podcast with somebody, and he was over there, and that was the first time we shook hands. The first time we spoke, I think we spoke early up when I was coming up. You feel me? But I think we had like our real first conversation once he saw Tupac Must Die, and he asked some questions. And, I had like I have a lot of respect for Gonzo. You feel me? Like, Caution was like a young group, one of the youngest groups that Cube had. So we really, all of us in LA really fuck with him if he was young. So when he had questions, I didn't have no problem answering them. So that was our first real conversation. So yeah, that was the extent. And then we kind of talked, more and more after that.
I feel it, man. And did it take you by surprise that he was taken away like that at this time in his life, where he was starting to glow up and really change his mindset? I mean, it took me by surprise.
I would like to say so, man, but shit, with this life, man, you feel me? Nobody make it out alive, so
wow.
You want to believe that, people got time, or you got time, but shit, you don't. I mean, we just never know. So, again, it's one of them things where it's like, damn, it was surprising, but it's like, can I believe it? Yeah, it be happening.
For real. Okay. Real talk, man. And rest in peace, Gonzo, and respect to his family and his children, man.
And especially one of my boys is his family, his cousin, his first cousin. So that was, it's fucked up. I mean, he definitely was trying to pull some things together and had a really good approach about what he was doing and starting to have success. So it's always you always gonna question how far he could have took you. This time around, it's hard to shift gears in this business.
Yeah, real talk, man. And transition a little bit. Still, this kind of is a Gonzo topic as well, but really not, because it's the gloves up, guns down, which is what him and a few other people in the industry was representing. That's why he fought Bosco. I don't know if you got to see that or not, but it was two guys that had beef.
I watched it.
Okay,
I watched it.
What are your thoughts on it?
It was entertaining. I think more of the training stuff I was more like impressed by. They both seemed like they took it serious. Watching their training montages and certain things, and to watch them go in the ring, and like boxing is such a serious and overwhelming sport. Like it's a different level of cardio. So to watch them make it through all of the rounds, and I thought that was dope. It's always good to see brothers change, like going to stuff they never did, and take it serious. So Bosco and Gonzo really kind of are trendsetters in that regard.
Yeah, they are. Why you think a lot of other hip hop artists like that do got beef or really be back and forth with one another don't want to take it in the ring?
I don't think most people really have beef, personally. I just think they may either somebody envious of each other, or you feel me, or something stupid. None of these people really got beef. I don't know what they think they doing. There's some kind of cool space today just to have enemies, or just to tell other people you got enemies, or just to tell somebody fuck somebody. You know what I mean? I don't think people really got enemies. You know what I'm saying? I think they got an energy about themselves to where they want to carry themselves with opposition. It's like people saying somebody hating on them when, most motherfuckers don't got nothing to hate on. It ain't really, not polarizing enough for somebody to truly dislike you. So I just think people like that space of operating. But most of them don't really have enemies. So even shit like that, they don't have no fucking enemies.
So at the end,
I couldn't sleep every night if I got enemies.
Right. True that. So at the end of the day, they not gonna step in that ring because it's not important enough, because it really ain't no real live beef, and you really don't want to have to go through all that shit, the training, and then possibly get knocked out or beat up or look embarrassed, because it really ain't beef. It really ain't that serious.
Man, I've been seeing all this shit going on with different people, and like the people who beef shit is real, like 50 Cent and Ja Rule, like motherfuckers been stabbed and fought and shot. There's motherfuckers in jail for murder and all kind of shit. It's real. Ain't no getting in the ring solving that. So that's really beef. I mean, beef is when motherfuckers really get shot, killed, and stabbed and shit, and fought and jumped on. But all these niggas that be launching the internet at each other and just tweeting each other and shit, they don't really got beef. They just, looking goofy.
You know what? And that speaks to why, because I'm from Sacramento, and that speaks to why, no matter how hard people like myself try and other people try to get Mozzy and Lavish D together,
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, and I couldn't wrap my head around it for a long time.
It's real as hell. Motherfuckers getting shot, hurt, killed. Feel me? That's different. You know what I mean? There ain't no getting in the ring solving that. Really, it's tough to even broker a peace. You know, when somebody you love get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like. Like maybe the top of the chains can figure it out, but at the end of the day, the bottoms who don't have, you know, the same luxuries or the same opportunities to take their mind away from it, to me, they gonna always feel that pain, and it's gonna be real tough. Until you can provide everybody with opportunities to change their life and bring more value to their life, they be willing to risk it over pride and ego. Feel me?
You right. Real spill right there too, man. So I'm glad you tapped in and really did reiterate that too, because a lot of people just like with me didn't understand why it's so hard to make peace, but man, it makes too much blood spilled on certain levels.
That shit is crazy. I feel me. I heard about it from some of my partners from up that way, but what's crazy is how the internet is now. You know what I mean? So you connect the streets with the internet, and everything makes sense. Like so much footage out there, and you just looking at all that shit. That shit's so real. Feel me? It's tough. You know what I'm saying? And I pray for, you know, all the people. You know what I mean? That shit tough. I love Mozzy, man. I've been, you know, and it ain't just about him. All of the brothers, everybody on each side. You feel me? That's just sad. And niggas, you know, at this point is, you know, to some degree, are millionaires. And it's like, you know, they live in a situation where their life could be taken every day still.
Yep. Real talk. Real spill, man. That's the truth too. And that brings me to Wack100 and 21 Savage. They was on a platform called Clubhouse just yesterday, day before. Did you hear about that? What's that?
I was in there. I said I was in there.
Wow. So okay, drop your opinion on that, man. Like, I mean, he came at him kind of foul, and 6ix9ine in the background cheering it on. What is this? What's going on? How does this happen?
I think Wack it's a business move. I think it's a couple people paid Wack. Wack is a professional business marketing, feel me, brilliance. Like he's brilliant at marketing, and he's not playing with the same restraints because, you know, this man changed his life. This man has been a successful businessman now, probably somewhere near 5 or 10 years. Feel me? Like outside of the music business, and then inside the music business. So even the things that would bound him to it, I don't think they're there anymore. Whether he says it or not, I just genuinely think he's past it, and it's like, you know, if you listen to him arguing, it's like my wife and children here. You know what I mean? Like, that is not something you used to hear when you talk about some street business. So I think everybody's looking at him, you know, incorrectly based off how he's marketing and branding himself, right? Instead of just looking at the fact this man is a successful businessman and a marketing person. 6ix9ine is a rat, you know. I get the point that Wack was trying to make, saying he's a civilian because he's not a gang member, but he's not a civilian because he's a criminal. He was a criminal before he ever got with the non-trade niggas. You know what I mean? He was a convicted pervert. He was a drug dealer. Feel me? But he's a rat. Period. So nothing nobody says, Wack, Jesus can come down himself. That nigga's a rat. Feel me? He's a rat. Period. You know what I mean? And he deserves no respect. He deserves nothing. You feel me? You know, outside of whatever he's paying for, that's on whoever, you know, collecting the check at that point. That's how, whatever space they in for themselves. 21 just made the mistake of ever getting on the phone. I would never challenge a rat to a fight. I don't care what he said. You know what I'm saying? I just think that was crazy. Like, I'm not talking to the nigga on the phone. I don't got nothing to say to that rat. That nigga's a snitch. That nigga gonna get you put in prison, feel me, and get your life taken away. See, the reason people don't understand, they think it's about snitch. It's not just about, you know, like the brother from the East Coast, political brother, my son. It ain't just about accountability. The reason people in the community don't deal with snitches is because they're going to tell again. So,
right.
No criminal should want to be around a snitch because he's going to tell on your ass next. That's part of the main reason. Self-preservation of, you know, this motherfucker is unworthy. Like, he will trade in, turn you in, you know what I mean, for his benefit. So, minus all that, the fear of getting killed, or minus the fear of all this, you stay away from rats because any criminal activity will probably get you put in prison. There's some kind of confusion that he told on one case. This nigga is a working informant. He's not done. They didn't just let him out for that one case. He's a working informant. So if you do anything to him, with him, feel me, you're going to prison. So that's my thing. Like, it's way too many people everybody that's in that clubhouse that ain't getting paid to be in that clubhouse is goofy if they consider themselves street niggas. I mean, if you consider yourself a street nigga and you in the room with that nigga, you fucking goofy.
Okay.
Unless you get paid for it, and at that point, business overrides the streets for you anyway. But, for the most part, that boy is a snitch. He's going to tell on more people. He's a working informant. He is not done. He will be putting niggas in prison for the rest of his life.
And anybody that has any knowledge, because I know Wack100, he gave us opportunity to go and follow Blueface around and really get some real good stuff on Blueface. We respect him for that. But this is something that I couldn't understand. And when you say it like that, you're right. 6ix9ine is everything you just said, and he's not done yet, which is what boggles my mind. Why Wack feels like it's okay. I mean, to me, at the end of the day, it's putting money over morality. At the end of the day, which is his choice. Go ahead and do that. But how can you occupy both spaces of being this G, and then really dancing with this rat like that? I don't understand it yet.
Okay, so let's address the two things, right? I know Wack. Wack is one of the smartest people I know in this business. He's really smart. Like, he understands this shit really well. He knows what he's doing. So it's two things specifically, right? One thing you said, somebody to consider themselves a G or a gangster. A gangster is somebody willing to commit a crime to advance their agenda. Wack's not committing no crimes at all. Wack been not a criminal. Wack got out of prison, came home, changed his life, started some businesses, made some money, feel me? Got in the music industry. Wack is not committing a crime. And that's the confusion. When people keep saying gangster, a gangster is somebody willing to commit a crime to advance their agenda, group of people. That's not who Wack is anymore. That's not to say Wack don't have a background in gangbanging or Wack ain't been a gangster. But Wack is a fucking businessman, feel me, with roots in that sense. But at this point, he's not committing a crime, right? Mm-hmm. So that point of it is different. But it goes into the second part, which is morality. There's no real morality about snitching, or why you don't fuck with snitches. It's not you just too good for that person, so you don't fuck with him. As a criminal, that person gonna tell. Styles made a good point. Styles was saying he would do business with anybody right now because he's not a criminal. He was talking about Death Spray, the lady, I guess that worked at Rock Nation that everybody say told or something.
I saw that. And
it's like, but they're not criminals.
But then Styles even took it further though and said, I cater to police. I donate money to police. How? I mean, what is that?
He's not a criminal.
Okay.
No, the criminal codes.
Okay, got you.
They're not codes for anybody but criminals. They're not cold.
Therefore, he's outside of those boundaries.
That's criminal. If you're not committing crimes, you're not a part of the streets. So that's what he's saying in so many words.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Styles P is not a criminal anymore. This nigga has professional businesses where he's trying to help, the community and advance black health. This nigga's not a criminal. Feel me? Like, so yes, you at that point now you're actually participating in fixing problems versus being a part of the problem or selfish, trying to fix your own problems at the expense of the whole community. So the problem is, it's such a fundamental, flaw the way people see what street or gangster means. It's a criminal. Wack is no longer a criminal. Styles P is no longer a criminal. These niggas are productive members of society. Feel me? Yes, they have backgrounds that match some of our backgrounds. Right? We all share backgrounds. Mm-hmm. But they have decided to take their life in a certain direction. So the things that you move a certain way is totally different.
So was he out of pocket for coming at 21 the way he did? You was in the room. You heard it.
Well, I think as a man, right? As a man now, I could say somebody wrong, but shit, now it's up to 21 to either make sure he knew he was wrong or however they're going to go about it. Because at that point, it's something in the situation that made him feel comfortable thinking he could say that to 21 Savage. Mm-hmm. And it's up to 21 to make sure he let him know why he should be uncomfortable for ever speaking like that to him again.
Right. That's mano y mano right there.
Yeah. Again, that's one of them things where, it shouldn't have probably happened on Clubhouse, but it did. You feel me? And now it's real pressure. Mm-hmm. To actually stand up for your brand and reputation. Right. That's kind of what makes gangster shit work. What they call it, a nigga moment. That was a real nigga moment.
Right.
So
yeah, real talk.
It's confusion that we keep saying morality. Morality of not snitching and fucking with snitches is built in criminals, not streets, not gangbanging, criminals.
Okay.
Ain't nobody not gonna give you no job because you told them. A regular boss at a fucking McDonald's, they go back, well, you know, you a rat. They ain't give you no job. It's criminals. And mainly it's about self-preservation because you know this motherfucker will tell on you. He's proven to be a rat. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why you don't fuck with him. Not just that sense of, oh, I'm better than you or you ain't shit. You know, that's a concept, but it's self-preservation. But why would Wack worry about that if he's not committing crimes?
Right. Whacking it for the dollar, and that's really, I understand it, but it's just like, man, I mean, you really walking a fine line. You walking a fine line, if you ask me.
Very much, very much. A line the size of a motherfucker sewing thread.
Right.
Feel me? But shit, you know, it's interesting to watch him walking. I don't agree. I wish he didn't. But shit, he's smart. He making money, so
right.
And it ain't just money, because it ain't like. Again, the things that I answer to are people that consider themselves still street or still willing to commit a crime to advance their agenda. You also worried about what other people thinking. Like, you don't want people to think that, you know, you compromise to hang with somebody that's telling on somebody. So Wack don't live in that style no more. Wack ain't no Chris Shaw. Wack ain't at the, you know, street races and shit. Wack is take care of his family.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense right there. Right, I feel it.
Different. Like Styles P, the same thing with Styles.
Yeah.
Styles ain't no fucking criminal. Styles got probably fucking 15 juice bars in New York. You feel me? Like, talking about black health and people worried about what he said. He's not a criminal anymore.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I understand that we want to feel like there's a culture, but the culture of being a criminal is still rooted in willing to commit a crime, or being a gangster is a group of y'all willing to commit a crime. Styles is past that. Styles not committing no fucking crimes no more. This motherfucker's straight. So right now he's trying to help the black community, advance black health. You know, his mind is focused, and he's doing what he is destined and purpose to do. Wack is getting paid, and he's probably getting 3 checks from this shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Wack is probably getting $100,000 to motherfucking $300,000-$400,000 for doing this. Feel me? And again, he's just using his brand. It's like if like Subway could promote healthy food, but if somebody walk in and say we're gonna give you $40 million to sell something that may not be unhealthy, you know what I mean? Eventually they just Subway, and the whole brand of being, you know, a healthy place, they probably then came off of that brand. No different than Wack. Wack has advanced in his life to where he ain't hanging out in his neighborhood no more. He ain't just hanging out with his friends on the corner. Feel me? This motherfucker owns some buildings that's in the recording studio and has to deal with Birdman and flying across the world and feel me, making hundreds of thousands of dollars for.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of this could be obvious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think, you know, we just getting our feelings because again, we want to believe in the branding and the marketing of something versus the reality of something.
I like that. That's real talk. Okay, I appreciate you chiming in on that and really going in depth with it. So one of the last things I wanted to bring to your table was the Versus platform. How do you feel about that? Is that a good thing? Is that destroying the culture in a way? Is that advancing the culture? Or is it just a sideshow that's happening and it's going to be over with soon? What would you think about Versus?
I mean, I think like anything else, it has to evolve. Maybe it should become a touring company. Some of the ideas are amazing together. Like obviously the Locks and Dipset was an amazing, you know, event. It reminded you of everything you loved about, you know, New York hip hop. You know, it should be a tour going out right after that with that shit. People could go see it. You know? That becomes a great platform for advertisement. So it depends on how they advance it and develop it.
You think the Locks destroyed the Dipset?
Yeah, it's tough, man. The Locks, you know what's funny?
Tough.
The Locks is a group. Dipset is a clique.
Okay. Oh,
you know
explain the difference.
Like, a group is somebody who that's how they do their thing from the first day. You know what I mean? That they're all together. They've done 1,000 million concerts together for the most part. 80% of their concerts are together. You know what I'm saying? Dipset is a group of individual successful artists that came together and made music, you know, from the same place. But they're probably even more successful separately. Cameron probably has bigger records than Dipset altogether. Joel's probably has bigger records than Dipset altogether. Jimmy, I'm sure, has bigger records than Dipset altogether. You know what I'm saying? As a group, as a clique. So the Locks probably is separate. Like the Locks probably don't have bigger records than their records as a group.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe Good Times by Styles is really big. Maybe a couple, but for sure Dipset has huge records solo. You know what I mean? And probably more cultural, impactful records as a group, as a clique.
So it's like so it's kind of like the Jackson 5 versus New Edition, because Jackson 5 is brothers. They lived together. They came up together. They in sync 100%. As New Edition, they was just friends. They were just buddies that came together, and they
it's a little more different. It's like what would I compare it to? It would be like, okay. No, it's even different. It's like the Jackson 5, who's a group, right, versus LSG.
Who's a clique.
Yellow Bird, Keith Sweat, Johnny Gill.
Got you.
Or the shit was TGT, Tank, Genuine, and Tyrese.
Okay.
I mean, where it's like this is more of an idea, but these guys are really solo acts by themselves, and here they are together. Versus the Jackson 5 is the Jackson 5.
Got you. Yeah. Good example. Real good one right there. You pulled that out real good. Yeah. So the audience, y'all can understand that. That makes a lot of sense. There's a cohesion there with the Locks that's really not there with the Dipset, even though Dipset got some dope fucking records, man.
Culturally incredible records.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy. So versus and you just dropped that bomb. I don't know. Maybe they thinking on the same levels too. Taking that last show they did on a lightweight tour, so people could see it. You right in person before the country shut down again. That's a fucking good idea, man. I hope they listening and tap in with Gmalone too if they do that, right?
Man, that shit is dope, man. Like, I ain't worried about it, man. I got ideas and shit.
Yeah, you do, man. Hey, you are a prolific artist, brother. I want everybody to go tap in. To if you haven't seen Tupac Must Die, I don't know who ain't seen it yet, but there's still a lot of young people out there that haven't seen it. Y'all go to YouTube, type in Glasses Malone, Tupac Must Die. Also go listen to Glasses Malone music on Apple, Spotify. And what's your Instagram or Facebook or where you hang out at most of all?
Man, I'm Googleable, man. Twitter is where I'm at most of the time, but I'm Googleable. Just Google it.
Google Glasses Malone. We're going to have it on the screen. You guys going to know what it is. Very prolific artist. Been in the game a while. Know everybody. Worked with several very, very high-level artists, labels, man. Your story is incredible. Also, they need to go check out your interview on The Breakfast Club. So y'all go look up Glasses Malone on The Breakfast Club as well. Very, very interesting the way this man explains the Tupac Must Die. And there was some contention in that room. I love that. I don't usually watch the whole episode of A Breakfast Club because they're usually an hour and some change, but I watched the whole fucking thing because I couldn't get out.
They told me, the homies told me that shit is classic. I was like, damn, that's dope to have a classic interview.
It's classic, bro. Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of the classic interviews, bro. So congratulations on all the success. Last thing I want to ask you about, somebody, my brother UB, shout out. You've been working with him a little bit all this time, man. He said you got a label. Are you cranking out artists yet?
Well, we're trying to do multiple things. We got more of a I don't even know what to call our company. We call it a movie company because it's rooted in just helping people, make their movie, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So for some people it's marketing, for some people it's production. It's whatever it needs to be.
Okay. What's the name of it?
Division Movie Company.
Division Movie Company. All right, you guys look out for that as well. Do your research on Division Movie Company. Do your research on Glasses Malone. Glasses, we appreciate you, brother. Any final comments?
Love, bro. It's all good, man. Good luck to y'all, man. And everybody have a good day.
We appreciate you, brother. Much love. Bless us.